Welcome to Court Helicopter News. This is the 6th episode where we are looking at a very controversial issue. Are you claiming you're married because you have an affidavit of marriage from Danstan Omari? Are you walking all over showing people a marriage affidavit given by a commission of oath, given by a senior counsel? Is a marriage affidavit from a lawyer a marriage certificate? The answer is no. Wewe unajidanganya. There is no marriage under the Kenyan law through a marriage, an affidavit of marriage. Let me give the historical perspective how affidavits of marriage used to come in. Previously, only civil marriages and Christian marriages and Muslim marriages had marriage certificates. So you could only prove that you are married when you want to go and get an ID, when you want to get somebody being put into a medical cover as your wife or as your husband, or you want to get to your employer and say, this is my wife, this is my girlfriend, this is my wife. That is when people could go to an advocate under the statutory, the Oaths Act, and you get an affidavit where it is you telling the advocate, I, Danstan Omari, my ID number is so and so, I'm 30 years, I am married to Mary Nyambura, we married in Kisii, we married in Taita, we married in Voi, we married in Homa Bay, I paid 2,000 shillings as dowry, and therefore you now record that I am officially married. The lawyer takes that story, puts it into an affidavit, you sign, and the lawyer signs. You walk around telling people, I am married. That changed from 2014 under the Marriage Act. Now every marriage, even customary marriage, we did that. You have got to be given a marriage certificate. Why is an affidavit not a marriage certificate? One, for anybody to issue a marriage certificate, that person must be registered and be licensed as a marriage registrar by the Attorney General. And that person must have a license yearly to conduct marriages. Lawyers or advocates don't have that license. The license they have is the license from the Law Society of Kenya to practice in court. Number two, a marriage must be done in a place gazetted by law. All churches, all mosques, or temples are gazetted by law. Every place must be known by law. For African customary marriages, the place where dowry is done is known by law. If it is in Meru culture, it must be, dowry must be conducted in the home of the boy. If you conduct it in a bar, then that is not dowry negotiation. If it is a custom where you must conduct that function of Rurashio or the function of Wekerorano or anything in a girl's home, the question when you are going for registration for the marriage certificate is you'll be asked, where did the negotiations and the ceremonies, why were they conducted. If you conducted them in a bar, or you conducted them in a place known by that custom, that one now will not be a law. So a marriage affidavit fails to that reason. Lastly, a marriage affidavit is not a government document. All marriages, the marriage certificate is issued by the Attorney General. Advocates are not issued with those licenses. So if you are walking around telling people that you are married and you have an affidavit showing that, you are simply carrying a paper that does not matter. It cannot be used in court. It cannot be used in SHA. It cannot be used in land transactions. It cannot be used anywhere. Therefore, you have now learned today that issue that I've taught you through court helicopter, that you can only prove marriage by having a valid marriage certificate that is a prescribed form. If you go behind the Marriage Act 2014, you will find how the marriage certificate looks. Anything. If you were married previously, let me again remind you, go and register your marriage today. If you are married under customary law, you must go to the registrar of marriages for you to register and have a marriage certificate. If you have lived for 50 years, as I said in the last episode, with a marriage and affidavit, you are not married. Take it from me, wewe unapoteza wakati wako. Rudi, chukua marriage certificate, ile shahada, affidavit ya wakili, hiyo si marriage certificate. Hiyo ni karatasi kama karatasi zingine. Court helicopter explainer, wakili Danstan Omari, on the contentious issue of whether an affidavit of marriage sworn by an advocate or drafted by an advocate can pass the test of whether that is a marriage certificate. Thank you. See you in the next episode.